Hey there, you're listening to Sally's Book Club, where we uncover global literary gems daily. I'm Young Yetwi. Today we're diving into a book titled The Periodic Table. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't some dry chemistry textbook. This is actually a 21 era novel intertwined with concentration camp memoirs where chemical elements frame the author's life story. So, what exactly did this author endure? He survived the Auschwitz death camp, humanity's darkest chapter in the 20th century, witnessing loved ones perish in the Holocaust. His obsessive study of chemical elements became both survival mechanism and philosophical compass through the darkness, revealing profound connections between matter and existence. Through these accounts, we discover how professional passion can transform into extraordinary resilience. Before we begin, let's meet the author. Primo Levi, born 1919, an Italian Jewish chemist navigating fascist oppression. Just 1 year after his birth, Mussolini's fascist regime seized power in Italy. When Nazi persecution intensified in 1943, the 24-year-old Levi was captured and deported to Auschwitz, branded with prisoner number 17457 dash, an indelible mark of shame shared by all inmates. Post-war, many survivors documented their camp experiences through memoirs. Levi began publishing his Auschwitz accounts as early as 1947, yet his approach differed, avoiding emotional outbursts when describing atrocities. His narration maintains remarkable composure, infused with philosophical reflection, almost as if he'd pre-accepted his suffering, viewing it through an extraordinary lens of understanding. What enabled this perspective? Levi credits chemistry, his lifelong passion, since first encountering the periodic table. He obsessively studied each element's properties, devising experiments to interact with them. Chemistry not only saved him from hell, but fundamentally shaped how he perceived life and the world. Life inevitably brings major setbacks. That's why we need to learn from those who've been through it. Published in 1975 as Levi's masterpiece, the periodic table contains 21 chapters, each titled after elements like argon, a noble gas. Chapter 2 uses hydrogen, followed by iron, lead, gold, silver, carbon, totaling 21 elements. This unique structure makes us wonder, why chemistry during wartime? What drew Levi to the periodic table? This leads us to Dmitry Mendeleev, the 19th century Russian creator of the periodic table. The 19th century mindset differed completely from ours today. We moderns juggle technological awe with existential dread. Our technology extends lifespans remarkably. We pretend to understand everything, our greatest fear being replaced by AI. The 19th century brimmed with scientific optimism, frontiers waiting exploration. Mendeleev's table left gaps, predicting undiscovered elements, cosmic order revealed. This declared nature's inherent order, humanity destined to unlock universal secrets. Young Levi thrilled to this systematic universe. Levi wrote of struggling with poetry's ambiguity, overwhelmed by linguistic possibilities. The periodic table's concrete logic electrified him. Truth distilled into grids. What were these tabulated elements? Gold meant O, iron Fe, mercury Hg, water H2O. Predictable reactions bred optimism through certainty. Levi said Mendeleev revealed nature's blueprint, sparking his lifelong material dialogue. He grew increasingly intimate with matter. Chemistry is the science of seeking answers. For Levi, making chemistry his profession meant daily problem solving, a perfect fit. Graduating when the nation urgently needed chemists for military resource development. He immediately entered state service post-graduation. Levi describes growing anti-Semitism and war rhetoric permeating media during that time. Government war propaganda intensified alongside Jewish persecution. Amid chaos, Levi immersed deeper in science's verifiable certainties. The material world became his sanctuary. As mentioned, each chapter bears an elemental title. Chemistry became Levi's lens for both understanding the world and self-discovery. The Argon chapter explores this noble gas's chemical inertness. Levi draws parallels between Argon's isolation and Jewish ancestors' insular communities. We know Jewish communities excelled in commerce through diligent self-reliance. Yet, their spiritual conservatism created cultural preservation through social isolation. This social inertness became both shield and limitation. For Jews, such inertness culturally functioned as protective armor. Closed communities allowed unnoticed survival, but eventual marginalization. Levi pursued chemistry partly to minimize social interactions as a Jew. Aware of his otherness in fascist Italy, another chapter uses zinc as symbolic element. If argon represents Jewish isolation, zinc embodies fascist notions of racial purity. Fascists claimed Jews were inferior, corrupting pure races through temptation. Zinc's purity makes it chemically resistant, metaphor for racial purity. Amid rising anti-Semitism, Levi deliberately self-marginalized academically. Levi sardonically called himself impurity, contaminating perfect zinc elements. Chemists often anthropomorphize elements they study, like gardeners becoming floral, winemakers vinos. Professions shape identity. But Levi's elemental identification served survival in turbulent times. Did this strategy work? Let's examine. Remarkably, yes. July 1941, Levi graduated amidst war, yet life remained stable. Social alienation existed, but not yet persecution level. His main fear, unemployment, proved unfounded. Italian military recruited him to extract nickel from ore for armaments. During this period, German victories contrasted with Allied setbacks. When Algerian nickel mines rendered his work redundant, he transitioned to developing diabetic oral treatments. This nickel chapter captures wartime industrial shifts. 1943, Allied bombing campaigns destabilized Italy. Levi joined ill-equipped anti-fascist partisans that winter. On December 13th, betrayed and captured by fascist Republican forces, Levi was transported to the concentration camp, beginning his darkest chapter. Camp reality violently contrasted with his previous chemical order. Observe the dichotomy, matter's predictability versus human unpredictability. You never knew when compliance might turn to violence here. Chemical reactions follow consistent patterns through repetition. Repeat experiments yield identical results, unlike human interactions. Thus, matter remains comprehensible. But human relationships shift like desert sands, allies today, enemies tomorrow. Guards' moods became terrifying chemical unknowns. Obeying orders today brought safety, tomorrow punishment. Identical actions yielded random consequences under Nazi rule. Matter serves purpose. Human cruelty often doesn't. Every mineral contains value, unlike senseless human acts. But humans excel at meaningless actions. Levi coined useless violence to describe camp atrocities. Ards demanded degrading acts beyond mere obedience, forced prostrations, humiliations. Trampling both body and spirit became sport. This excess violence defied all chemical logic. Levi struggled comprehending such human irrationality. Auschwitz forced him to confront humanity's capacity for evil. Yet death's chemistry persisted. Bodies decomposing or burning followed elemental laws. Existential realization. Pre-war, Levi saw matter as separate from humanity, now understanding their horrific synthesis. Levi realized humanity's fundamental truth here. We're all matter, victims and perpetrators alike. Modern objectification describes dehumanizing behaviors, treating vulnerable groups as disposable objects, classic dehumanization. Nazis' ultimate sin wasn't murder, but systematic objectification, stripping human dignity through bureaucratic processes. Yet Levi needed detachment to process Auschwitz trauma. Viewing himself through chemistry's lens became therapeutic. I'm elemental matter like everyone, nothing special. Does this make Levi nihilistic? Let's examine. Surviving concentration camps inevitably breeds nihilism. Major life failures often trigger existential questioning. Yet life persists. Deadlines, loved ones, commitments remain. Levi's writing radiates clinical detachment through profound clarity. He recognized humanity's elemental nature without romanticism. Survival imperative primary chemical equation. Chemistry literally saved him twice. First salvation, professional expertise. A pivotal moment of despair transformed by elemental curiosity. Cellmate's river gold anecdote sparked chemical obsession. I've never handled gold, sudden scientific awakening. This revelation became survival mantra. I must refine gold. Thus the chapter Gold was born, Alchemy of Hope. In the chapter following Gold, Levi recounts his second pivotal experience. He secured work at the camp's chemical factory. Using his specialized skills, with a fellow prisoner, he stole cerium from the lab, C on the periodic table. These flints became currency for life-sustaining bread rations. The chapter Cerium documents this chemical survival strategy until liberation. This demonstrates STEM skills' vital role in extreme survival scenarios. Now revealing the book's hidden structural symmetry. 21 chapters mirroring elements. Argon opens, carbon concludes. The central survival chapter balances preceding or posterior narratives. 10 chapters before, 10 after, precise chemical equilibrium. Total oxidation states 378 before, 378 after. Deliberate alchemy. Levi structured his memoir as chemical butterfly, symmetrical rebirth. Survival forms the fulcrum between descent and ascent. First half, Jewish chemist's descent into Auschwitz. Second half, carrying camp scars through post-war reconstruction. What followed liberation? Astonishing normalcy. Levi joined a paint manufacturer, resuming lab work amidst chaos. Post-war Italy, inflation, ruins, hunger, yet laboratories endured. For Levi, test tubes offered sanctuary from societal collapse. New field required study. Paint chemistry became intellectual refuge. Library immersion replaced camp survival, same chemical devotion. Later, being too idle, he even asked his manager for more tasks. Many loved ones, including his girlfriend, perished in the war. Without work's chemical anchor, traumatic memories would consume him. Chemistry became therapeutic immersion. Matter's magic as salvation. Let me share Levi's distillation description from the potassium chapter. First, it's slow philosophical work. Busy yet meditative, like cycling. Liquid to gas, gas to liquid, purification through phase transitions. Repeating ancient rituals. Extracting essence from impurity, like early alcohol distillation. The book abounds with such poetic chemical observations. Lab work cultivates patience, blocking human strife and dark thoughts. Focus becomes healing gift. Necessary trauma recovery mechanism. This focus springs from love. Love begets deeper immersion. Self-forgetting through work enables renewed capacity to love. Love for craft and people alike. Modern work often reduces to transactional. We need workers, you need money. Centalment job ads get mocked. Unlike Levi's pure chemical devotion, never does Levi mention salaries in the periodic table. Instead, endless accounts of total professional absorption. 1941 mining assignment, immediate geological fascination. 1944 camp lab, single-minded cerium extraction for survival. Post-liberation collaborations. Continuing chemical partnerships. Like working with friend Emilio, converting homes into labs, producing chlorinated alkenes for mirror makers, all driven by love, failures notwithstanding. Crucially, Levi never flaunts chemical expertise. All work equals problem solving. Cycles, physics, chemistry, botany, discovering and resolving. Endlessly. If repetitive, that's life's essence requiring respect. Cyclical patterns prevail. Hence, the book culminates in elemental cycles. The final chapter, Carbon, Element of Life, becomes legendary. That personal significance varies, but carbon unites us all. Your body likely contains carbon atoms billions of years old, originally part of limestone CaCO3, then liberated through kiln fires. As CO3 journeying through skies, oceans, living organisms. Photosynthesis captures it into leaves, entering life's bloodstream, circulating through bodies, ecosystems, atmosphere endlessly, absorbed by trees, consumed by insects. Through decomposition, returning skyward, eternal cosmic dance. Why does Levi share this cosmic perspective with us? His worldview formed through chemistry studies and Auschwitz survival, elemental understanding meeting human brutality. In camps, he witnessed human metamorphosis, civilized to monstrous in moments, well dressed officers becoming killers, prove humanity's shared elemental composition. Good and evil coexist organically within all human matter. Levi urges viewing others through matter's lens, chemical beings first. Understanding life requires studying non-living components. He champions work, cultivating curiosity, patience, and focus. These become essential qualities for meaningful existence. That concludes our exploration of the periodic table. Find notes below. Until tomorrow. All right, sounds good.